to your first episode of What's in the Fridge. So this is going to be a monthly series that is all about cooking and really seeing what is in the fridge and being able to kind of toss some things together. So for me, as a cook and in my own life and my own experience, I used to have a very unhealthy relationship with food as well as with my body. And then through healing and connecting into myself, I was able to release 80 pounds, 70, 80 pounds, something like that. I've broken up with the scale. I don't really know. I've learned the best thing for me is intuitive eating. I have had a lot of food sensitivities, my body due to like different medications and things like that over the years. So the best thing for me has really been, I am personally a little bit more like pescatarian. I do eat a fair amount of fish. So if you are somebody that doesn't know a whole lot of different ways to like cook fish or different things like that, then absolutely this is the place to be. So tonight I am actually going to be making a pasta dish because I'm kind of feeling it's a little bit on the like chillier side. I'm looking for something a little yummy and delicious. I actually have this bag of shrimp that was in my freezer. So I have just allowed it to thaw probably for the last hour. I'm going to run it under some water and I'm going to actually de-shell it so that when I'm putting it in my pasta, you are welcome to do whatever it is that you would like to do. I personally like to just put it in so that I don't have to worry about like the shells or the tails or anything like that. So I am going to run this under some water, and as I run it under water, I will actually do a little bit of reiki healing and gratitude with the shrimp, right? And so if I am going to eat any meat, I always like to bless it and thank it for its offering its life and for nourishing my body, different things like that, really bringing in a lot of high vibrational gratitude into the food that I eat. And that has honestly really benefited me in a lot of different ways. And then I actually also have this can of New England clam chowder soup. And so I'm going to use this as part of my pasta sauce. Oddly enough, actually, I also have a little bit of red wine that I'm going to toss into it to add a little bit extra flavor. I have some peppers and some tomatoes, some little cherry tomatoes that I'm going to put in there. Let's take a look. All right, so in my fridge, these are my peppers. So I'm not going to use all of them, but I am going to grab probably at least a green. I do have some spinach under here, as well as some avocados. Oh, let's add some avocados. Why not? Add a couple avocados in there because that's really good. A little bit of extra protein. Those are good. I'm going to do cherry tomatoes. We're going to add some cherry tomatoes in there as well. And maybe a zucchini. Yeah, let's add a zucchini because we can. All right, so I've grabbed a yellow and orange pepper. I've got my zucchini. I actually even grabbed some mushrooms. I have my cast iron frying pan. And I'm going to use a little bit of olive oil. I'm just going to sprinkle it into the pan. And then I'm going to cut all of my vegetables to pre-prep it. I am going to use my French cutting knife. Don't mind me, this is the first time that I am doing a video recording myself. Everybody's always told me that my cooking is absolutely amazing and I should, you know, write a cookbook, but I'm like, but I don't usually like measure anything, and so how would I even do that? And so I'm gonna take it, and I'm making not ginormously huge, but not super skinny either. And then on these ones, I'm actually gonna do the two together. I don't think she's really gonna like it, but that's okay. So now for my mushrooms, I usually cut the tip off and then I will cut it in half. And then I will usually cut it in 3. And then slice and dice it. This is honestly, you can make it personal preference, as big or as small as you would like it to be. It's been a while since I've used mushrooms, but we're gonna add them in. Why not? Crosses your path, your body says yes. And usually when I'm doing it, so when listening to my body and intuitively eating, what I will do is I will stand and allow my body, so I've done this in the grocery store, and when I'm like grocery shopping and stuff, or even when I'm cooking, being like, all right, well, what does my body want tonight, right? And because when I have done that and allowed myself to honor what my body is asking for, I have less issues and challenges than if I completely ignore that and just do whatever. And for anybody that knows me, I'm the person that walks into the restaurant and I'm like, I'm sorry, because I'm gonna make you change everything and ask all the questions. But my body is my body, and recognizing that your body is your temple, and how you honor your body and what it is that it is asking for, you're going to build a healthier relationship, and therefore you can lengthen your life, live a healthier, happier life. It just all around improves your sense of well-being. So I've noticed a huge improvement, and people look at me and they're like, you lost weight, and I'm like, sure. I mean, I feel good. I look good. I'll take it. But do I spend hours in a gym? No, I don't. No thanks. All right, I am going to go do my shrimp, and I will be right back. All right, so for doing the shrimp, I have just a regular bowl. I'm gonna grab my compost to put the shells in. And I'm just going to open and I'm going to run it under the water. A little bit chilly. Alright, so I've got zucchini and mushrooms cut. My shrimp have been de-skinned. So now I'm going to cut my avocados. Absolutely beautiful. Is that in my compost? And then with mine, generally, though, you would want the avocado to slice. It should slice fairly easy. Like, that's okay. We'll just grab a different one, because that one does not want to do. There we go. So then I always, thank you. If you like fresh avocado like I do, I just eat it straight. But there we go. And then you pop that out. And throw it everywhere. Because apparently, why not? Gently slice these guys. So you want to push slightly down. So that you're cutting it, just be careful so that you're not cutting yourself through the So now, with me using everything that I am only cooking for one person, but this is gonna give me probably about 4 days worth of meals. So you can always freeze it. This is a really great meal prep idea. Different things like that, right? Because, you know, if you live a really busy life, sometimes having stuff that is pre-prepped and easy to grab makes life a lot easier. Now I am going to totally TikTok hack my peppers. You flip it upside down and you cut it along the creases, and it just peels open like a flower. And you can go back in and tidy up the different lines, clean it up. And take my time. I use a very sharp knife, so again, anybody who knows me knows that I would like seriously cut myself if I did not pay attention. So Stephanie pays attention, so I can keep all of my fingers and all of my toes. And again, it goes back in the compost. And I do the same for my yellow one. Now this one might have a little bit more that I'm gonna have to get rid of, and it looks like it's only really a cut down there. And there. Peel it back. There we go. So there is one section of this guy that I am going to cut out just for my own well-being, my own sanity. And that's okay. Sometimes we just have to say no. I'm not gonna have you. And that's okay. And I'm just gonna cut it all out. And the rest of the pepper is good. So now, for the most part, we're fairly prepped. We're gonna slice these so that we can cut them into cubes. The smaller they are, the faster they'll cook. I like my peppers, so I don't like to cut them too small. But at the same time, I also don't like to cut them too big either. Making sure that you are watching so you don't cut yourself. And you can honestly use whatever vegetables you like. If you're not a peppers and mushrooms and zucchini fan, or, you know, like, there's broccoli, there's cauliflower, there's carrots and celery. There's a multitude of different vegetables that you can do. This is just kind of what I had in my fridge. And if you don't use it, then yeah, kind of lose it. So we're gonna add it into the nugget. I'm excited. I feel like it's gonna be really yummy. Hey Lex, what do you think? All right, so all of my vegetables are prepped, minus my tomatoes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat my frying pan. And as I heat my frying pan and get it ready for my shrimp, then I'm going to prep my tomatoes. So I'm going to turn it to about a 5. My stove likes to run a little bit on the hot side. So we are going to just grab a few of these. So as you can see, it's going to be jam-packed full of vegetables. I've got a lot of different, which is kind of really funny because, again, intuitively eating. I've got some red and some orange and some yellow. I've got some earthy with the mushrooms, and then some green for the heart space. So a lot of really good positive nutrients. And then the shrimp, which is also going to be fantastic. So we're going to get this frying pan heated and I'll be right back. All right, so now I'm getting some heat to my frying pan. I've got the oil that is warming. I've got that. I'm going to grab my noodles. All right, so I'm gonna do my noodles right in the frying pan, which means I'm just gonna add a little bit of extra liquid. In my case, I'm gonna add some milk substitute because I am lactose intolerant. But we're gonna start with putting our shrimp in the frying pan. You can hear that nice little sizzle. And the shrimp is gonna start to turn pink. Now I like to use a cast iron pan because for me it is a lot better. Especially with the pans. Now for spices, I'm going to use some Himalayan salt and peppercorn. The salt for me is really going to bring out the flavors of the shrimp. And then I'm going to add extra just straight pepper because I really like pepper. Then I'm going to Mix that up a bit. I am cooking for myself. So I also have garlic powder, and then I also have some chili peppers. So I'm going to put some chili peppers in, give it a little bit of a kick. And then I'm going to add the tiniest little bit of sage. Like, very little. Take it and sprinkle it. And I'm going to use some of my garlic plus. This is definitely a fan favorite for myself. I really like that. So load it up. Kind of really love the garlic. Add a little extra garlic. Because I can. And so we're just going to let that do its thing. I'm going to add so you can tell the shrimps don't take very long to cook. I am going to add a little bit extra oil. Just to really get that sizzle going. For those shrimp. Then I'm going to put my tomatoes, because I have not cut those yet. And now that those are sizzling, I'm going to add my vegetables. Minus the avocados. So the avocados I'm going to add last, right before we're about to serve it. So now we're going to bring I might not actually be able to do my noodles in this pan, and that is okay. So this is one whole zucchini, one whole orange and yellow pepper, as well as 2 avocados and probably about 20 cherry tomatoes. So we're going to let that come. I'm going to turn the stove down now to about a 3, so we can let that simmer as we come over here. And now I'm just going to slice my tomatoes. As well, I should probably get the water ready for noodles, because I definitely don't think those are going to fit in there. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll predominantly cook the noodles on the stove prior to putting them in the dish, and then we'll add them to the dish for the last little bit so that it can all simmer together. I prefer my noodles to be a little bit on the al dente side. So I'm just cutting these tomatoes in half because the juices are going to add to the flavor of the dish as well. When you cook tomatoes, you don't want to burn yourself. So I always like to do this. All right, and now I'm going to open the can of food. Yep. Oh, I know. That is yummy. Yep. Yes, my brother. Hey! No, thank you. I love you. No, that is not placed candy. Nice try. Nice try, small fry. Yeah. I love you though. Always and forever. I'm gonna add a little bit of oil to my water for my noodles so that they don't stick. So I also just tried my Yep. I gave one of the little shrimps a try, and they're pretty delicious, if I do say so myself. So I'm just kind of giving it some mixing and stuff, allowing it to just do what it's gonna do. And then the tomatoes and the avocados I'm going to actually add close to the end. All right, so these flavors, it's smelling delicious. Now, it's not a lot of red wine, so I'm not a huge drinker, but we're gonna just toss that last little dash in there. So the thing about cooking with wine is you get the flavor, but then the alcohol burns off, so you're not gonna end up like intoxicated or anything, but it adds a certain, now the wine that I used is called Bodacious. I do believe it is a Malbec. So Malbecs tend to be a little bit on the sweeter side. So with the spice of the chilies, with a little bit of the sweet of the wine, mixed with a little bit of everything else. We've got the water almost boiling. We're gonna let this kind of do its thing and simmer a little bit. Yeah. It adds that nice little balanced texture. So even when you add the creamy to this, that cream base of the soup is going to balance out the different spices. Oh, that is gonna be delicious. I wish you could literally put the smells through the camera and the phone, because that is smelling yummy. So I'm just using a spaghetti noodle. You can honestly use whatever kind of noodle you would like. You could even probably do this with like a rice or a quinoa. Instead, do it a little bit more like stir fry style. And I'm just gonna snap it in half just to make it fit a little bit easier. So when we put that into there, it's gonna blend really nicely. And we're done. So again, as you can see, I don't really measure anything. It's literally a little bit of a feeling. So there might be a few extra noodles, but we'll make it work. So with the oil and the water, it'll help keep the noodles from sticking together. And now I'm going to give this another little mix up, and then I'm going to add the soup so that it can start to simmer as I get ready to add my avocados and tomatoes. Put that in there. So now that that is boiling, I'm going to turn that down. Then pull out a spoon and scoop out the can into the dish. Now I'm going to mix this in with what's already here. So the sauce is going to expand a little bit, and it's mixing with all of the spices and everything like that now. As we continue to mix it gently. Making messes. What's that? That's kind of what I do. Alright. So now we have that. I'm gonna rinse my knife. Clean it. I'm a little bit of a clean as you go kind of person. Now the noodles are starting to do their thing and cook in the water. The sauce and the soup is starting to now mix in with everything that we've got in the frying pan. We're going to add our tomatoes and our avocados. So now that we've pre-sliced, our avocados should be pretty easy to just squish in the middle and out pops little avocado cubes. And again, into the compost. our noodles that are cooking. Get softer. And we're gonna mix the rest of our sauce together. So if you like a creamier, like liquidier sauce, you are more than welcome to add some milk or a little bit of water. Make it a little bit creamier. I like a little bit of a thicker sauce, so I'm going to put everything in there, and we're just gonna let that simmer. Alright, so now our noodles are done. I've turned them off. We've got that simmering. I'm going to drain the water from the noodles. It's okay if you don't get it all out. I'm going to dump it and then bring it over and put it in the frying pan. And after I make all of the noise, I'm going to stir the pasta into the frying pan, mixing everything in, and I'm gonna let it simmer for probably about 5 minutes, just to really allow some of those flavors and spices to even settle into. That was causing me. So just getting it all nice and mixed in. We're gonna let it cook. We've still got it on that 3, so it's just really been simmering in all of these juices and flavors. So we're gonna give that a few minutes, and then it is gonna be time to eat our dinner. All right, so we've given it some time to really just let it sit and simmer. So now we're gonna grab our bowl or plate, whatever you wish to put your dish on. And you can literally serve yourself. But like a little extra of the yummy deliciousness, however much you want. You can add some cheese if you would like. I'm gonna just have it as is because I think it's gonna be delicious. And then I'm just gonna pull it off the stove because it's still gonna cook a little bit, even not being on the heat, but otherwise you're done. I hope that you enjoy.